Let me speak to you like I would to someone I trust. No urgency, no hype, just honesty. After more than 20 years of watching how people live, earn, spend, and age, I've come to an uncomfortable conclusion. Stability, the thing most people work their entire lives to achieve, is often the very thing that keeps them trapped. Stability feels safe, it feels responsible, it feels mature. You have predictable income, predictable expenses, predictable routines. Nothing is falling apart. Nothing is obviously wrong, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. Because stability doesn't scream when it costs you your freedom. It whispers. Most people don't lose control of their lives through bad decisions. They lose it through reasonable ones. Decisions that make sense in isolation. A better apartment because you can afford it. A newer car because it's safer. A more demanding job because it pays more. Each step feels logical. Each step tightens the structure around you. The most effective cage is the one that feels like safety. The modern world rewards predictability. Employers want reliability. Banks want consistency. Systems want you to behave the same way every month, and in exchange, they offer stability. But stability comes with conditions. You must keep showing up. You must keep producing. You must keep maintaining the structure. Money plays a central role in this. When income is stable, lifestyle tends to follow. Expenses adjust upward quietly, commitments accumulate. Over time, your income stops being something you control and becomes something that controls you. Birochudanjan, stable income, stable lifestyle, fixed obligations, reduced options. At this point, many people mistake comfort for progress. They are no longer building toward anything. They are maintaining, and maintenance consumes energy without creating freedom. One of the biggest illusions is believing that stability equals security. In reality, stability often increases fragility. When your entire life depends on one structure continuing unchanged, any disruption becomes a threat. A job loss, a health issue, an economic shift. Things that should be manageable suddenly feel catastrophic. A stable life with no margin is a fragile life. This is why so many people feel anxious even when nothing is wrong. Their lives work, but only if everything continues to work. There is no slack, no buffer, no room for mistakes or change. Another quiet trap is identity. Stability often becomes part of how people define themselves: responsible, reliable, successful. Walking away from that structure feels like failure, even when staying means slow suffocation. People rarely ask the most important question: if I stopped doing this, what would happen? When the answer is everything would collapse, that's not stability, that's dependency. Birochu, Haikatsong, maintenance mode, work, pay, recover, repeat. Freedom building mode, work, allocate, build, leverage, reduce dependency. The difference between these two paths is not income level, it's intention. People who escape the stability trap use money differently. They don't use money to lock in comfort, they use it to buy flexibility, time, options, margin. One of the most common mistakes is waiting for the right time to change. But stability rarely creates the right time. It numbs urgency. As long as things are tolerable, people delay hard decisions. Years pass quietly. Comfort delays action longer than fear ever could. There are also emotional costs. Stability often requires suppressing dissatisfaction. You tell yourself it's fine, others have it worse. You should be grateful. Over time, that suppression turns into exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, but existential fatigue. Money advice often misses this layer: budgeting, saving, investing. These tools matter, but without structural change, they only make the cage more efficient. True freedom requires redesigning how your life is funded. Birochu Dongtian, dependency model, time, income, expenses, survival. Freedom model, time, systems, cash flow, choice. The goal is not to eliminate work. The goal is to reduce dependency on a single source of work. Even small shifts matter. Lower fixed expenses, fewer irreversible commitments, more optionality. Silum Contrang. Confusing stability with safety. Locking lifestyle to peak income. Trading flexibility for convenience. Waiting until burnout to change. If your life only works when nothing goes wrong, it's not designed for reality. Reclaiming freedom doesn't require dramatic moves. It requires honesty. Honest assessment of what actually limits you. Honest recognition of which comforts cost the most in the long run. Many people never escape the stability trap because they never question it. They assume feeling constrained is normal, that at adulthood is supposed to feel heavy. that freedom is for the reckless or the lucky. It's not. Freedom is structural, and structures can be redesigned. The most important decision is not quitting everything. It's regaining margin. Margin in time, margin in money, margin in energy. Margin is what allows thinking. Without it, people only react. Stability feels good today. Freedom protects you tomorrow. If you're listening to this and feeling uneasy, that's not a bad sign. It means you're noticing the difference between a life that functions and a life that's yours. And noticing is always the first step toward change.